Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, we own it.
Shut your fucking mouth, man.
We good?
Yeah, we good.
Or are we on?
We are on. Wait, gotta get rid of the shitty ass pillow. I mean, expensive, delicious, good ass pillow.
No, I need some nice pillows on my back. I'm like an old man.
I do it.
I do it.
Ahoy!
Am I supposed to do that also?
Ahoy! Fucking oh. Yo, our first guest is our fucking brother.
Homie.
The oldest.
Salama batch.
The pin.
The king.
Nqayi.
Little Kainch. Little
Power
Kainch.
to Kabinda.
That shit gonna get me killed. As soon as I land in the airport. What? Let's
Daddy
go.
long leg.
You got problems. Tripod.
Mini money.
Yo, by the way, this is our brother.
This is our brother, Alirio
Alirio.
Kiko Veiga. You can follow him on Instagram if you want to. It's at these nuts.
It's a must.
all the way from Angola.
Yes. Back in the motherland.
Come
How does it
Kabinda
feel
to
to
be
be
exact.
back in fucking South Africa?
Hey, this is second home, man. I even know the national anthem. I know it all. I love the culture. You want me to start singing the national anthem? No, rather than
He doesn't know the national anthem.
Of course I know
No,
it.
you don't know
I
that.
was not gonna know it.
I'm not going to know it.
You don't know the
Kansas Bay
Afrikaans
High
part.
School. Of course I know.
2000.
80 blow van ons, hemel, 80 diepte van. You want me to continue?
Disclaimer, yo, this guy, if you're Angolan, he not your people. If you got the immigration, if he comes back into your country, kick him out. He doesn't deserve to
Doesn't
be in
belong
Angola.
there.
He's ours now.
Mamela.
Jonga.
So you basically grew up, yeah?
Yep.
What are the reasons why?
Well, basically, I was looking for. My parents decided to send me over for better educational system. You know, Angola's educational system is not that great, and my older brothers and sisters were already here, so they're like, okay, get the fuck out! You're causing me too much trouble. Go stay with your brothers and sisters. And so I came over. 2001. No, not even the war, because by then, you know, things were a little bit more cooled down.
Cool.
And 2001 was, you know, was when I came, and it was already relatively chill because Savimbi, the dictator,
Yeah.
at the time, he was killed in 2001.
Alright.
So, but you know, in the capital Luanda, and mainly in Cabinda, where I'm from, we didn't feel it that much as many of the other provinces in the south. And so yeah, came over 2001, and ever since, I'm Zanzi boy.
I'm a daughter. I'm not a boy.
Dual passport.
Oh yeah, man, it's like a phone with two SIM cards. That's me, both sides. And then I met, you know, these two guys over here,
And ever since.
brothers from another mother with a different father.
We've caused trouble.
Different fathers. Well, he caused the most trouble, so.
Nah, I was a good boy. I only followed, you know, because I was a shy boy, you know. And I had to, you know, I was always being
You were shy?
My ass.
everybody knows.
Wow, this was the loudest nigga in fucking school.
Even
And then with his fucking suitcase as a backpack. Everyone had backpacks. This nigga rocks up with a suitcase.
listen,
And then he started crying because everyone had backpacks.
listen, that was pimping. If because of that backpack, I had 3 girlfriends in high school.
You a
Just
problem.
because of that. 3.
He was a problem from primary school. A problem.
Problem child since
All
then.
the way
Oh.
through with his tripod. When they say he got 3 legs.
Yo, this guy got a kickstand. He was like,
Am I wearing boxes? Yeah, I'm wearing boxes. 'Cause, nah, but
But
here
what's
we
up?
are.
And in terms of the developments now back home,
Hey, Angola is, we're still feeling there's an economic crisis happening, you know, at the moment. You know,
cool.
things are different from 2 years ago. But Angola it's an emerging market. You know, there's lots of opportunities, lots of up and coming business coming over, lots of international companies coming over to invest.
Yeah,
you know, in the private sector. We got
the new president.
We got the new
obviously.
president, João Lourenço. We call him J Lo. You know, it's short form for J Lo. Not Jennifer Lopez, big booted mama. No. João, John, for English. João is John for English. Lourenço. So we just The people just call him J-Lo, short
Makes
form for
sense.
J-Lo. So, but yeah, he's a tough guy, you know. He's got good morals, and things are changing to the better, you know. He's putting a few high-profile ministers, you know.
What's China's hand like in Angola?
Hey, man, Chinese, not even Angola. In 20 years' time, we're going to be speaking Chinese, Mandarin in Africa. They everywhere. They investing because, you know, it's not like the European Union where the IMF come in and if you want a loan, you have to follow certain guidelines. The Chinese don't have that. It's like, you want 20 billion? Here's 20 billion. They give it to you. But of course, there's repercussions, you know,
sure.
because look at, I think it's Sri Lanka. They gave him a loan of like 10 or 15 billion. They weren't able to pay it. So they're like, okay, since you can't pay it, we're going to take control of your ports. That we loaned you the money for you to build.
Exactly.
So, you know.
They always got a hidden agenda that works to their advantage.
But hey, they're investing a lot in Angola, you know. It's creating jobs. By creating those jobs, a lot of people are taken out of the unemployment list.
That's
and
nice.
by a lot of people being out of the unemployment list, they're able to feed their families, even if it's not paying them what they should. But at least they're creating some jobs and opportunities. So yeah.
So there isn't huge unemployment in Angola.
No, there is.
Like compared to South Africa.
Oh no, it's. I think here the margin is way much higher. You know, Angola we are 24, close to 25 million people.
Yeah, we obviously got a bigger population.
You guys are like double.
58 million. So.
And so.
I guess in a sense. It is high in their degree because 24 million people. It doesn't necessarily mean unemployment is fine. Because I think it's what people live off $1.
$1 a day.
So unemployment is still bad. It's just they have 24 million people. We've got 58 million people where it's at 27%. And I think it just keeps 29%, 27 or 29, one of the two, and it just keeps getting worse and worse. So in essence, look. Reality is every country has something that they've gone through. In our case, it was an apartheid system, which then pushed black people. But in their case, they had an apartheid system first by the Portuguese. Then that was removed. Then civil war started. So they had two things they had to go through. You know. Look, I didn't go through it. You know it better than I do. But I think for us, we had a better advantage in the sense of once we got the power, things were already structured enough for us to just take over.
And give continuity.
I guess in this case, we haven't necessarily grasped it due to the most obvious thing, corruption. How's the corruption in Angola anyway?
Hey man, listen.
Say shit that don't get you shot.
The good thing is, I can say that in Angola now we have freedom of speech. A few years ago, in the old president's regime, you know, radio stations, televisions, you basically couldn't say anything bad, you know. And a lot of people have felt the wrath of it, you know, in different ways. But now, you know, he actually listens to these critics. You know, if you hear radio stations now, people are criticizing administrations, governments, you know, mass spending, you know, corruption. But corruption is corruption, whether it's in South Africa and whether it's in Angola. Like I remember we used to talk a lot where it's like you guys were complaining about ministers. No, minister spent this and he bought a BMW 7 Series. And people here were complaining, no, that money should have gone to. Of course, you guys are in your rights. But then I was always like, listen, if you think this is corruption, wait to see how much our guys spend over there. Corruption is everywhere, you know. There was a time where high officials were like taking out from the Federal Reserve, not like $1 million, $2 million, which is equivalent to what the rand is 14, 15 now. You know, dudes were taking in the excess of $50, $100 million. Imagine that.
That's insane.
Imagine that, 100 million, and this is the least.
There's obviously those who've taken.
Oh man, it is crazy.
I mean, it's 30, 35. He wasn't bound for 35.
35, 36. If I'm not wrong.
6 years.
And
think all the stuff you've signed.
And all of that because it transitions from he was like the father of the nation, you know. And of course, as a father, you are the mirror of your kids. This is not necessarily his kids, but his cabinet. So if they see that the dad is doing things that are not ethical, like, you know, what are they going to do? Okay, if he's doing it, I might as well just do it. Exactly. And so that feeling of, no, I can take it, spread towards everyone.
Exactly.
That's why they even say nowadays that the president even say that the past one, not the current one, said that back then that the average Angolan doesn't live off his salary. He has to live off the misha. Misha is like commissions that he makes here and there. So some people make more of commissions than their own salary.
Damn.
Yeah.
In other words, the cool drinks.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you know. It's like traffic officer stops you, you know, come on, you know, a cool drink. You give him a cool drink. Hey, what the fuck is this? I'm not thirsty. My throat ain't dry.
Don't you know the code?
I want to buy a couple of packs of cool drinks.
Exactly. But, yeah.
Look, it's, I don't know. And the impact of the war, though, in terms of psychologically on the people, because obviously I know it was done, but what has it left, if we think?
Hey,
what
man,
did it leave behind?
If you look
how
at it,
long was the war? Sorry,
how long?
Civil War, though.
20 something years.
Damn,
20 something years.
That's a long
so
time.
The effects, I mean, you still feel the effects today, you know, because what happened was Luanda is the capital.
Yeah.
So when the war broke out, being the capital, that was like a safe haven.
Okay.
So everybody else from the neighboring provinces, which were being affected with the bombardments and everything, everybody ran away and come to Luanda. Which is, if you see today Luanda, it's like if it was designed for, let's say, 3 million people. It's like triple of that right now.
So compact.
So everything is congestion. So meanwhile, on the other provinces, I mean, they're not developing as much because the government is only focusing everything towards it. But if you look at the impact, you still get people that came from other provinces that are still on the streets, you know.
It's the most expensive.
Yeah, the top 5 most expensive city in the world. Luanda, yeah, man.
Wow.
It's crazy.
I think, is it due to the, obviously with development interests that people come into Luanda the whole time, and because of the oil, because of the diamond, because and I assume that it's the expats that are there in Luanda that make it. And there's no order maybe of. I don't know.
During there was no control whether it's the pricing commission or whatever they call it. So basically, we import everything. Like more than 70% of what we consume in Angola, we import everything, even in the agriculture sector. You know, sometimes even till today, you can go to some supermarkets where the apple that they sell it is imported. Meanwhile, we got millions and millions of hectares right there just ready to be cultivated.
But tropical.
Yeah, we got.
You guys are.
We got the second
got rich land for fucking farming.
Extremely rich.
Cotton used to be a coffee and cotton
coffee,
a top trade for you guys.
For us, exactly. During the Portuguese, when the Portuguese were still our colonizers and everything, when they're still settled in.
So there's not many people farming out there.
I mean, now the government is subsidizing many agricultural projects where they say, okay, now let's start investing more in homegrown products.
Yeah.
But agriculture is not something that you do it in 5 years' time.
No, for sure.
It's a 10-year, 15, 20-year project, and luckily now they're starting to.
But still, implementing farming in the country, whether it takes 10, 15 years, you rather start it now than not at all.
Better late than never, yeah.
Because 15 years flies
quickly,
like that.
yeah.
True.
And the next generation that's going to come in will benefit
from it, yeah. So they're implementing. We had
if you can have a civil war for over 20 years, you can spend 15 years farming, bro.
War.
Yeah, bro, it's crazy.
So families, in terms of, I take it a lot of people have lost.
Oh man,
and
a lot of people suffering with PTSD or.
Also, yeah, I mean, you got old soldiers, that bled, died, that today are just thrown around the street and they don't have anything at all. families, you know, they came from Malange, they came from Sum, they came from all parts of the country. Till today, maybe they haven't returned home. You know, they don't know if their mother that they left behind is still alive. Nothing. For example, we got a story of a very good friend of ours. I'm not going to mention his name, but he was from he's from Malange. I think it's from Malange, one of the provinces which was highly affected by the war. He was 8 or 9 years old at the time that he tells the story. And UNITA, which was one of the parties, had attacked the city. And he basically ran from whichever province he was from, all the way to Luanda to escape the war. And he said that there was a time where there was a UNITA battalion close to where he is. They just massacred like hundreds of people over there, because this is what happens during Civil War, you know. So, and for him to not be noticed, he basically had to hide under dead bodies.
Jesus, can you imagine that smell?
Yeah, bro. And him being there saying like he's lying down, and maybe the person that's on top of him, you know,
gets like stabbed just to make sure.
Might be one of his best friends, but he doesn't know. Might be a neighbor, might be a family member, and he doesn't know. And he just ran until he reached Rwanda. You know, being there, you know, because Angolans are warm-hearted people. Luckily, he was able to find people that were able to accommodate him. And today, these people that accommodated him are his family, you know?
Exactly.
And if you see him, this guy is probably the happiest guy you're ever going to meet. Doesn't have, always smiling, you know, doesn't get into trouble. He's always joyful. But through that smile, sometimes we don't get to see what the person's past or what it actually feels when he goes when he puts his head on a pillow or whatever. But hey, consequences, even if it's 50 years time, people are still going to feel it.
For sure.
You know?
It's a 20-year war.
Man, it is.
The hence I always say,
crazy.
For us South Africans that always want to preach about, we'll take up arms. I think it's such a distraught thing, because the impact of what war does. As much as you may win the battle, but what it leaves behind, you lose a father, you lose a son, you lose a daughter, niece, mom, and you may win, but not everybody gets the piece of the cake in the end of the day, because all the soldiers, all the people who sacrificed, they didn't get a piece of the cake.
Yeah, and war is strategy at the end of the day.
Yeah,
it's like a damn chessboard. The pawns always get sacrificed.
Yeah,
dude, and in this case, it's the people.
The people are the pawns.
Like they say, war is young men dying, you know, and old men simply reaping the benefits of it.
Exactly.
Because of one person or two, or a few people's interest, thousands and thousands of people pay the price.
Exactly.
Where, you know, parents are sacrificed. You know, kids are separated from the parents. You know, the Hollywood, you know, Africa, I mean, every day in countries like Angola, all of these countries that have been through a lot, you can make a movie a day simply by stopping someone and asking them about their story. If you ask every single soldier that you see on the street in Angola, just sit down with him and say, listen, tell me your story.
Yeah.
Tell me your story. You're going to have a documentary on Netflix every single day.
Yeah.
That's how much content there is. That's how much story there is, you know. That's how much history you bring in. This is not just Angola. This is Africa in general, you know. Even here, everybody has a story.
True.
You know, everybody has a story.
These stories don't get exposed, or whatever happens in Africa doesn't get exposed, because majority of the media is controlled by certain entities, and they show you. Speaking of showing you what you want to see, I watched The Great Hack last night.
I haven't watched it yet.
How fucking intense is that shit?
Nah, I watched only like 15. I only watched like 15 minutes.
But besides, spoil it for you, but Cambridge Analytics.
But besides Cambridge Analytics, the guys at the top that were funding Cambridge Analytics, that's old money, old white men with tons of money running.
I like the one
things.
part. I'm not going to kill it for you, but it's just one part where what they did in Trinidad and Tobago, where
Yeah, that was insane.
Because in Trinidad and Tobago, there's sort of like Mauritius, there's an
Indians
highly big Indian community, and the you could say the natives of the land, the blacks.
Yeah.
And what happens is now it's elections, and the Indians and the black people don't really get along.
All right.
So the Indian group, putting it that way, they hire Cambridge to do like something, to draw up spark. So what they did is they created a slogan of no voting. No voting. But
no voting for the youth.
So don't vote. The youth don't. It's like a trend.
All right.
They started a trend. Don't vote.
And then they started videos of kids dancing, doing the sign,
and paying like artists to do. But now what they're actually doing, it's like reverse. So it's not necessarily saying, because they know Indian traditionally kids will always listen to their parents.
Yeah,
okay.
As much as they find that the black people are right,
but
they won't go with them. So what did the black youths do? They didn't go vote. What did the Indian kids do? They went to go vote, and everybody voted, and that group won.
Yeah,
obviously after the thing they deny it that they didn't, but the proof is so in essence it shows you what the power of media, the power of social media right now.
This company just creates propaganda.
Fake news, basically.
The fucked up thing is that no law has been, we couldn't have foreseen it. There is no law
against
that gives us rights to our personal analytical data.
Exactly.
So that's why a company like Cambridge Analytica can mine from Facebook our personal data. So they manipulate our data, and then they manipulate the whole system. They start surveys, and they see what you are into.
They analyze behavior.
They analyze behavior, and they start pushing out things that responds to your behavior.
And
so they can manipulate.
And they just created these. I think they also did it in Brazil. They also did it where they created the image of those other guys who were prior to the
Bolsonaro.
Prior to him, they must be kicked out. All that propaganda. So they create accounts where they'll share and they'll interlink the account so it doesn't go back to them.
Right.
They'll share these pictures, and people will be hyped up by these pictures. But in essence, when you've got a right-wing leader as a president in Brazil, and you think to yourself, the others were corrupt, fine, cool.
Yeah.
But you've got a right-wing president who, number one, wants to tear down the Amazon forest. Two, obviously fully believes in guns, and that's fine because I think everybody has a right to carry their gun license and fully trained in it to protect your family. But three, he still has a person who's promoted anti-blackness.
Yeah.
And what's Brazil made out of?
Yeah.
So in essence now, being a Brazilian, you're stuck in this. And who says he's not going to do a good job? I don't know. But the fact is, when you know you've got that's all right now, right-wing leaders are garnering so much support because those who are supposedly supposed to do a good job
are not doing
democratic and are not doing a good job. They're infighting, they're being corrupt.
Let's take a radical way.
Exactly. Now, the right wings are winning because they're saying, they say it as it is. They hit the nail on the head. Now, am I saying they're going to do a job? I don't know. Look at Donald Trump. End of the day, as a leader, your actions and who you are speaks volumes. He's a person who doesn't represent what America is. And I'm not American, but I think we see enough of America to know what being American is.
Yeah.
But if Americans are going to sit there and say Donald Trump is a full representation of what American is, then I think all along we were never wrong continuously. We were saying from slave era all the way, nothing has necessarily changed. It hasn't changed from prison systems to everywhere.
No, it's just different forms of slavery. That's
exactly.
Right now.
Mass incarceration is a new form of slavery.
Exactly. It's money. It's private prisons. Yeah. We've got private prisons here. I mean, we've got I don't want to mention their name, but they always have security guys around that company. They have their own a few of their own prisons up in Joburg. But it's become a business and private. It's amazing. It hasn't been something in South Africa no one's mentioned.
Exactly.
But back to you. Where you come from, Kabinda. It's not even connected.
Yeah, geographically it's not connected.
Geographically, but it literally supplies the whole country all of its oil.
Oh yeah, and it's not just the oil. It's Cabinda has the second biggest forest in the world, the Mayombe forest. So Amazon forest first, then comes the Mayombe forest. Second biggest. Now, if you look at a forest, you don't just get monkeys and gorillas and whatever. You get everything. Wood, gold,
exactly,
diamonds. I mean, you mention it.
That's why the Chinese bought a piece of land out there.
Oh yeah.
I think they bought a lot of land.
It's like if you go there right now, every single day you see trucks and trucks and trucks full of logs ready to be exported. You know.
What do you think? What do you think is stopping? Not stopping, really. Not increasing the speed of development. Fairly distributed. I think one factor obviously was 30 years of a family taking over a whole country. Then after that, what could be the next thing that can really increase fair distribution of wealth in the country? Because there's untapped land, there's untapped resources, there's just untapped
everything, virgin,
and nothing's been. Your country is literally clean, other than the corruption, but it's clean.
Yeah.
But it's only a few reaping benefits.
Yeah. Basically,
similar to here, but it's.
I'll use this example. You can have how many? I think for every liter of clear water, I think you just need a drop of oil to pollute it, right?
Yeah.
So basically, imagine this: you got a country full of potential, ready to be, take it to the next level, be a potency in Africa, or maybe you look at South Africa. It's one of the most developed countries in Africa. But what's stopping us from going? It's just that, that disease that is spread throughout the country. And that disease is corruption. There's no other way to go around it. Oh no, it's corruption. People are not fair. It's like I've basically reached a conclusion where comprehensiveness in Angola is called gazosa, which is a bribe. Simple things. Sometimes forget about politics, forget about the laws, forget about you just what's right and what's wrong. It seems like people have forgot the difference of what's right and what's wrong.
Yeah.
And when you're in a position of importance, like ministry, any type of cabinet, you're not there to benefit your family or whatever. You're there serving the people.
Yeah.
Because governments, that's what they're there for. It's not to enrich yourself. You're there serving the people.
Exactly.
So the people's needs is your priority.
Yeah.
And they don't see it like that. So, and it's not like the country doesn't have money. Of course they have money. Okay, let's make it available for the Ministry of Transport. Oh, here's 5 billion. Okay, cool. They have projects in place. Sometimes they're phantom projects, where it's on paper, blah, 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 and then disappears. But then what happens? Out of that 5 billion that's allocated specifically for that, out of that 5, they're only going to invest, let's say 2. The other 3, what's going to go?
Into the pockets.
Going to the pockets. Spread it around. So people just have to be more honest, because honesty, I'm not even going to talk about religion, etc. That's just another factor. People just have to be more honest and know what they're there for. That's basically it.
But that's a constant fight we have in every country when it comes to government.
Yeah,
it's the dishonesty and
everybody wants to be rich. Everybody wants to. No, you don't need. And the thing that irritates me, like we've spoken this about a million times, man.
Yeah. And
this is an African problem, man. You basically killing your people to enrich others. Others how? The trend is, okay, you loot millions and millions of the government. You can't keep it in your home soil, otherwise that money is going to be tracked. So what do? I don't know. I'm going to put it in the Canary Islands. I'm going to put it in my Swiss banks. Okay.
Yeah.
You're taking every single 1, 2, 3. Next thing you know, I'm a billionaire. Okay, cool. Swiss banks, they're going to come a time where you're going to say, okay, that dude's a dictator. What are you going to do? freeze those accounts. Do they send the money back?
No,
The money stays there.
Exactly.
Yeah, they fucking
So you're basically killing your own. You know, instead of that billion, you could have built thousands of schools, thousands of hospitals, created job opportunities. Meanwhile, you're just enriching somebody. You know,
you should have just did what you were supposed to do.
Exactly,
That's
man.
It's what we've all continuously asked. Same thing in South Africa, where every single time it's the same process. Toilets are not being built, schools are not being built, kids are still learning outside, police are not doing their job.
Their jobs.
There's just everything interlinks in some form or way, and it goes back to somebody not doing their tender properly. Mismanagement, and it's continuous. Right now, the Nqayi mayor got fired because of 20 million rand tender. It's just everything interlinks, and then you ask yourself, why can't somebody just walk into office? Here's your portfolio. This is what you need to do for you. There's 10 projects. Here's $20 billion. Just do it.
Yeah.
Just do it. You're good. You're living fine. You're getting paid well.
Yeah.
Just do it. But somehow, same thing with the war. Who are the biggest people suffering of? It's the people.
It's the people, not the top dogs. Yeah.
I think it's as you say, it is a disease in Africa. It's continually being a disease, and I think those old folk in power that are being coerced, or because you sat down properly, you knew what you were doing.
Yeah.
Sat down with these, these hidden, these shadow companies giving you millions to make different decisions, and it's happening everywhere. I think it's Cameroon. If I'm correct, the Cameroon president, the old one who's been there, I think he's the longest sitting one.
Yeah.
I think. He built a hospital in France, private hospital in France. Why didn't you build hospitals in Cameroon? It just doesn't make sense.
Obviously, he's benefiting off of that.
Of course, because obviously it's an investment and therefore it's money. It's I don't know. It's high time that I think we as a people, we're continuously playing with our own lives, because I think we've been comfortable, and some obviously out of fear.
Yeah.
But more than anything, we've given all the power to these leaders, and I don't know.
But it's like watching the Great Hack. That woman, Kimberly Kaiser.
Yep.
She was working for Cambridge Analytica.
Yeah.
Right.
She was one of the people behind the whole company, right? She came forward after all the shit hit the fan. But in that whole time, she was first for human rights.
Yeah, before she went to Cambridge, she worked for human
was
rights.
A teenager who was all for human rights.
Exactly. So she understands.
Then she got into politics, and then she got into that.
She joined the NRA.
At what point in that process at Cambridge Analytica did you not put your foot down and say, no, I am doing the wrong fucking thing here?
Being someone that came from...
she wrote it. She was having dinners with presidents.
She joined the NRA.
People, joined NRA. She
changed the way she dressed,
the way she spoke.
She became a Republican.
Fucking bitch.
She's a bitch. She became a Republican.
But now she's for the people again.
Fuck you. No,
so in essence, we can draw,
because the company was going to shit.
But the conclusion is, guys, it's money.
But you see, it's like,
money.
She was highly educated. She was a white woman.
Yeah, you can think.
So like
part of the human rights.
So people can't say,
before she joined, she was in the UN.
Yeah.
She was there, I think, for a year or two.
So people can't say that, because you are poor and ill-educated, so when you present with money, of course you're going to steal. No, that woman was well-educated.
Yeah. Exactly.
Good backgrounds.
But the biggest thieves are the biggest crooks are not the ones stealing cars. Are the ones in ties and suits, suits and ties. Those are the biggest crooks in the world.
But those people are the ones that manipulate the puppets.
Yeah.
The people in government who we keep putting the blame on are the fucking puppets.
Yeah.
There's a higher power that's running all shit. And it's so enticing. They entice these people. They smile behind their lives.
Exactly. Exactly.
It's
talk about I don't know if you guys saw this. There was this woman. As you may know, in Hong Kong, there's this huge protest happening, because obviously the people don't want the communistic regime to go into Hong Kong, and the South African lady, she was unarmed. She's
South African lady in Hong Kong.
She's expat. She's in the midst of everything that's happening, and she went on her knees.
Sorry, just to clarify, what race is she?
She's white. She's
Okay.
a white South African. She became the center of attention. She went on her knees in front of the cops, put her hands up, sort of like,
Stop the violence.
Yeah. In tears. So sort of, obviously, then the cops came to her and they lifted up slowly and they put her to the side. And I could see the comments from Chinese people like, wow, because she's white, you lifted up nicely and you took her away, but you would never done that to her,
to your own people. Yeah.
So then they interview her, okay?
They don't want shit from any white country.
So she said, I came from South Africa to move away from this. I don't want this. And this is not the Hong Kong I've grown to love.
How long has she been living in that country?
I don't know, but it doesn't even matter.
Firstly,
it's entitlement. Now, the white privilege...
That's not your fucking country.
The white privilege we've always spoken about. People think it's something we just...
But there's a clear picture right there.
You come from South Africa, right? People are fighting for their rights here with the government.
And you leave the country because it's unsafe and it doesn't fit in your
We're not
world.
choosing violence. We're choosing to strike. This is what we're doing. This is fighting for your rights. Yes, we have a crime problem. I get it.
But that's everywhere.
You chose to go to Hong Kong, complain about the people of Hong Kong doing peaceful protests and are being humiliated and beaten up by the police, Chinese army, military basically, and you complain about it because your privilege has been touched.
She's so fucking lucky she didn't get shot.
Because she white. Don't forget that. She wasn't going to get shot.
If she was an Asian woman, bang, bang.
Somebody writes, another Asian, the entitlement is astounding. I'm just glad the world can see what we have to deal with.
Yeah.
How she took these protests and made them about herself is wild. This is Twitter. This is
nothing to do
people
with
are
her.
pissed off. She really just want to enjoy her white privilege in peace.
Yeah.
In South Africa, she's not affected by everyday struggles of the masses. In Hong Kong, she doesn't relate to what the Hong Kong people are protesting
Not
for.
at all.
She'll be in Australia soon. So,
She can fuck off to Australia for sure.
and then of course, a nice gentleman writes, if she grew up in South Africa during the apartheid era, then she of all people should be aware that freedom isn't free. A price has to be paid somewhere.
Exactly. It's the laws of equivalent exchange.
But I think a lot of the natives, the Hong Kong, didn't really dislike this because this became it went
Major
viral.
news, yeah, it went viral.
And it became all about her. And it's the same thing here. Something strikes, well, I don't want this because once it touches your pocket, the land issue, now we want to, no, you can't. But before you kept quiet. You don't take part in the conversations. You don't take part in anything.
And the Hong Kongese were oppressed by the British.
That's what I'm saying. So somebody, she definitely doesn't know or care what these protests are.
She knows nothing about the culture, the history.
Nothing.
She's ill-educated.
How the dictatorship is gonna affect them on a daily basis, man.
Yeah, I don't know. It's and of course Helen Zille with the 2 cents. It's nonsensical because white protects white in these cases.
Yeah, of course.
And it's South Africa.
I'm not even gonna read the bullshit. It's end of the day, like I said, it's understand what's happening, have respect of it. Democracy is fought for. You don't walk. We don't take walks in the park. Look in your guys' case.
Man.
UNITA and Emperor fought for power.
Yeah.
And am I gonna go there and say, nah, we've just gone through our own version of apartheid with the Portuguese. Portuguese, by the way, which a lot of them ran to South Africa. And a lot of them still hold a lot of their racist views. I know a lot of people that used to say the K word like it was nothing. A lot of Portuguese are in South Africa. And you can take me how you want to take it, but it's the truth. And I think, again, we haven't dealt with it. Something we always repeat. We haven't sat down. We haven't said, this is what's happened in 1994. Let's talk about it. Let's remove it. Let's make a law that says you can't say the K word, you can't be racist. If you do, you go to prison. From that part, we have a place we can start from.
White people also need to be educated on what white privilege is. I don't think the majority of them necessarily understand what white privilege is.
But this is where it starts from. I promise you, it literally starts from the point to say, you can't do this. In 1990, after the election, no one said you can't do this.
Yeah.
It just simply said, just do it silently. Do it in your rooms. If you feel uncomfortable, just do it in a different way. Have more white. It's clear and obvious. So had we dealt with it that way, I think this whole white, we all have privilege first and foremost in some form of way. So let's not make this as if 100%. I'm sure some of this, but we all have privilege. Yes, we all have privilege, but there's some you can't deny it. If I walk in the room or a white man walks in the room, who are you going to trust first? Because there's a privilege that seeps in.
There's a stigma that's also attached.
It's there. But what I'm simply saying is there are those who do good, and I'm not saying the reality is, all we just want you to know is to know you have it. And if you can use it in a way that benefits everybody around you, that's what's fine. Unfortunately, sometimes you can't remove something. It's like, I'll forever be a threat to somebody because of my color. It's fact. If I walk a hoodie and I'm black, and I'll be a threat.
You're a suspect. You're a suspect.
Exactly.
And then the media portrays that also.
See, I need to then try and change the narrative with those who feel uncomfortable with the stigma or the stereotype. So I think that's important. But nonetheless, glad she wasn't harmed. She was treated better than the actual protesters in Hong Kong.
Well, I mean, she could have gotten one bullet in the leg.
But I think I think she smelt the tear gas in the air. That's why she's crying, because the entitlement.
It's not what I came. What did she say?
It's not what I came for yet. She says, I came from South Africa to move away from this. I don't want this.
So basically,
this is not Hong Kong I've grown to love.
So basically,
she's experienced apartheid.
I came from South Africa to move away from this. So basically, the same thing that she's experiencing now in Hong Kong, she experienced here. But instead of protesting or going against own country,
she left.
She wants to go and be peaceful somewhere where they're not asking for it,
Exactly. Where it's not a problem. We are given first preference.
Yeah, exactly. It's
expats are always.
It's like you're only smelling like shit. You say, no, let me go to the neighbors because it might be smelling better. And then when you get there, it smells like shit too. Oh, come on, guys. You gotta put some air fresh up in this bitch.
And they dealing with this shit.
Exactly.
And you don't want to sit there and deal with it too. She was on her knees. It would have been cool if she was on her knees and she was protesting it. And I'm not saying she must get hurt or anything, but I'm saying maybe whatever. If something had happened to her, at least she's saying, I'm protesting against what's happening. Versus, this is not what I came for. I'm an expat. I need to be treated better.
She's protesting for her own privilege, man. For her own gain. That's all it is.
Exactly. Self-entitlement. Look, it's but anyway, it's a struggle worldwide. And I think we can't wait for people to change. We can't wait for our own people to change. We have to make the change.
Exactly.
And it's good to see what's happening in Angola with the changes. The president coming in, J-Lo. Am I saying
You gotta say the
Portuguese nation, by the way. They speak Portuguese. There's also Kimbundo. What other languages
do you have? There's Kimbundo, there's Ubuntu, there's Fjord. There's a burnt chocolate.
I would love
all the native tongues.
I would love one day though for the native tongues to take precedence rather than the Portuguese.
Oh man, that's one thing. The problem that we have in Angola, the educational system. Like for example, I came here when I was 11, and it was beautiful because here in the educational system, you choose. You do have to do English, which is of course the first language or whatever. But then as second or third, you have the option of doing Afrikaans or isiXhosa. Mamela.
Look at my
I understand that shit. So if you correct me, I'll understand it.
I'll slap the taste out of you.
Exactly. But in Angola, we don't have that. In school, it's just Portuguese. They try to push it, but if you just try but not really wanting it, nobody's gonna pick it up. So we're getting better. Things are getting
things take time.
Step by step. Hopefully,
you're trying to get rid of 30 36 years of a president having his own family.
And now
so he's trying to, I guess, get things into his
agenda. He's trying to push his agenda. Like, you know, like it was a episode of Boondocks. We can do this the easy way or the hard way. So I mean, he's going the hard way. He's going up against, you know, he's swimming against the tide. So go for it. And Angola is beautiful, man. Shit.
No, it's flipping
It's like,
beautiful. I'm looking at pictures here.
I mean, look at
the
this
coastline. What is this place? This is the Mount Mok. Am I saying it right?
Mount Mok.
The highest mountain in Angola.
Yeah.
They've got beaches.
Man,
beaches on
beautiful.
beach.
There's like places that have been untapped yet, you know, and
national parks.
Yeah,
they're good. They're really. Oh damn, this is really what?
Yeah, Calandula.
They got their own. What's it? In America, what's that place?
Grand Canyon.
You got your own Grand Canyon.
We got our own shit.
Calandula Falls, bro.
Calandula Falls, man. I mean, it's
I'm disappointed they don't push this enough. The tourism, Angola tourism, they should push this more. They would get so much.
Yeah, but the thing is, you know,
it's actually my first time seeing this.
Everything is more expensive in Angola. That's why people still prefer to do tourism outside. You know, people don't do local tourism that much because you expect it to be cheaper, but it's actually
expensive.
And the same as you traveling as you go to Zanzibar or whatever.
Oh, so
that's why,
Zanzibar.
But some people are now starting to do more, you know. So hopefully next time, you know, you guys have to get your asses in Angola, you know.
No, best believe that.
That feijoada, that sacafolha, you know.
I don't care about the sights. If I'm staying in your place, I just want to eat.
Prawns.
I don't care. I want the food and I want the sights, man.
Huge ass prawns, you know, prawns that will scare the shit out of you, you know. Big ass prawns. You know,
and it's cheap.
Yeah, we get a Land Rover, hop into that motherfucker, let's just drive and see all the beautiful places.
You got a beautiful country, man. I think we as Africans need to appreciate what we have in front of us and put the bullshit aside. And actually build our countries, man. There's too much history in the SADC region that interlinks us.
Yeah, true.
They have sand. They have the Sand Nation. We have the Sand Nation.
Yeah.
It's everything interlinks us in some form or way.
Yeah, that's true.
There's too much beauty, man. But yeah. So don't worry. We got our researcher in the background.
Yeah, she's just choked on some air.
Yeah.
She doesn't know how to swallow South African air. It's
yes, Joyce.
She ain't feeling good.
It's different to Angolan air.
She ain't feeling good. Translate for her, she's looking confused.
Deixa que sorrir.
You're tired, you want to sleep. But anyway, I think we hold it down from there.
Yeah, we can hold it down. What you guys want to talk about? What else you want to talk about?
I don't know how I'm gonna slap the taste out of your mouth.
I think we're good then. Let's do a record.
Yeah.
Let's try it at this point.
Yeah, we'll keep it short and sweet.
Yeah. Well, guys, Sal homie, Alirio.
The king.
Nah, he's not the king.
From Cabinda, exactly, Angola. Check it out. Don't look down on other countries as South Africans. Angola is a beautiful country.
Oh, yeah.
The day we go, we'll definitely be doing vlogging and stuff. I think I'm looking at different pictures. If you really think Africa doesn't have beauty, take a look at it.
You got Google.
Tropical country.
Google, man.
Portuguese-speaking nation.
Yeah. And to make shit better for you guys, you don't need a visa to visit Angola.
Oh, yes, visa-free now, man.
Go get your ticket. Get your ass on the plane and go explore.
How much is a ticket from?
Man, it's actually not that expensive. You know, two-way you can probably pay 5-6K.
Yeah,
that's not bad.
Peak is like 9.
Yeah, peak is like
peak season makes sense.
Peak at 9, you might as well go to a different country.
Yeah.
But you can go to China for that. But
one day in our lifetime, Africa, when we travel Africa, it will be the cheapest.
Yeah.
I still don't find why it costs me 11,000 rand.
I also don't understand.
I don't understand why it's 3,500 rand to go from Cape Town to Joburg.
I don't understand.
What?
Yeah.
What the fuck?
SA is trying to get the money,
bruh.
3K.
Yeah, you can pay up to 3,500.
With 3K, a lot of shit can be done with
God damn. That's what I'm saying. Our airlines need proper competition in
Are they giving free massages?
Nah, bro. It's still like old shitty ass planes. And
Wait, by the way, business like normal economics.
Economics.
Economic, I mean.
Economy.
Yeah, no more.
What about one time and all that shit?
One time shut
Mango,
down.
Yeah,
Mango
one time-
Komani, because
one time
remember,
shut down, yeah.
Mango, Kulula, the SAA partially owns shares in Kulula. So what happens is now you all have shares. So if something happens to Kulula, they're gonna get a bailout. If something happens to Mango, they're gonna get a bailout. Because what happened to Blackie was the cheapest. Blackie Komani, shout out to you, black guy who owned their first one-time airline. He had a low prices on his flights. You saw it was like 600.
Yeah. Whenever we went to compete
now, what had happened was he couldn't compete. The people owned their own hangars. SAA obviously funded Mango and Kulula. So now obviously you've got power.
Yeah, he's fighting against the monopoly.
Yeah.
I mean, to the point where he cut down his own salary because he really believed we all believed in the flight. But obviously there was, in a way, I'm not going to fully blame everything else, but there was mismanagement. In essence, to a degree, he didn't know what he was doing. It could have been saved, but obviously they chose to choose liquidation. But I truly believe, I think a new airline needs to come into play.
Oh yeah,
It's not
competition
funded
is
by
great.
government. Competition is structured. They have their own hangars and everything else. And I think it will really balance. Because, man, 3,000 rand to travel to another city.
Come on, man, that's ridiculous.
Just to go to Mthatha.
This is just one way or two-way ticket.
A two-way.
This is a two-way.
No,
It's still damn
too much.
expensive.
It's still
Listen.
too much.
3K to Joburg, I need a foot massage, and I don't know what, some bubbly champagne. or some shit.
You don't even get a packet of peanuts
If
on that
flights are
damn plane.
200 rand to just go in Europe, and yeah, you can say, no, but they're fully developed. Bullshit. They have planes, we have planes.
Man, this
Exactly.
It doesn't matter.
From fucking Lisbon to Amsterdam is 60 euros.
Exactly.
That's less than $1,000 bucks.
Like
Fuck,
they
that's
say,
nothing,
man.
bro.
That's nothing.
Mismanagement, guys.
God
Mismanagement.
damn it.
That was
Hey,
the
man.
nice thing about being out in Europe was that you could easily travel to different countries. Just like,
Train. They're building a train
At a
though,
bare
that's gonna
minimum.
go from, I think, if I'm correct, I think you guys are building it, or it's gonna connect. I think
Zambia and
all the way through.
Uh-huh.
It will be cool.
Yeah, it
it's
will.
gonna be nice.
But they're best like rebels and all this shit.
yeah,
Do you know that
gotta
shit
watch
can-
out for those bombers.
Like rebels, it happens. So because what's happening now, obviously in the north in Mozambique with Renamo,
Yeah.
and also this is like an ISIS trend going on in Mozambique also. So I think in general, let's not just follow these dumbass trends as Africans. Let's just build our countries for the
But
better.
again, if you watch that great hack, it explains why people are following those trends.
Yeah,
It's not-
exactly.
It's a damn propaganda all over again.
Exactly.
I think people don't understand how much we are being manipulated through social media.
Now we're starting to understand, but then again, who says that's not behavior?
Yeah,
That's
that
true.
too. After
So-
watching that, I was like, maybe I'm being manipulated.
Yeah, so that's what I'm
right now in
saying.
that
We
documentary.
need to steer away from that and actually go back to books, written history, and say, listen, let's restructure the future in the sense of making and it all goes down to decisions of presidents and ministers doing their job, finishing their portfolios and giving the people what they need, and that's just leadership.
Yeah.
So we won't need to rely on propaganda to sway us.
The thing is, expansion of the mind.
Exactly.
If you can expand your mind and be open to everything that's been thrown at you and outsource information, then you'll be good. Obviously, as human beings, we can't tell a rotten apple from a good apple.
Yeah.
We can't always, not all the
Exactly.
time.
Not always.
But obviously, when we do put those people in power, we need to be able to be united as a country and
say, hey, man.
well woke, and we can take that person out and put someone else in.
And deal with
We're always going to go through trial and error.
Yeah.
It's inevitable.
Yeah.
It's inevitable.
Nobody's
It's a journey
perfect,
that we're
but-
on, and
Exactly.
Yeah.
so
But
shall it
yeah,
be.
shout outs to my homie for coming through. Man,
Nah, I'm not gonna shake your hand.
No.
Shout outs to
No,
him for
actually, just so you know, we got a handshake.
bullshit handshake.
We got such a dope handshake.
This is a dope
since
handshake.
school.
Just think about
High
it,
school
since
This
days.
nigga been hating on it
It's
I'm
like
not
the
hating.
entire time.
I'm
How many
good.
years now?
what? It's more than 8 years now.
It's 10 years.
More than 10 actually.
10 years that he's
Matter
still
of fact,
hating.
make it 15. Even before he was born, he was hating on our handshake.
You've been hating so long, you could have started farming out in Angola.
Exactly.
Just look at this bullshit.
No, but we can't do it like this. We don't need to do it because if we show you the handshake,
Just look at this bullshit.
you're gonna have to zoom in on his face while we do it,
Nah, you know what I'll do in the post-production and the edit? As we're doing that, I'll zoom in on his face.
This is all he's gonna do.
Fucking haterade.
Do your shit. We're waiting.
No,
Number one hater.
Let all the guests
watch this.
We gotta create the hype.
You gotta create the hype. You know.
All right, the floor is yours.
Put in some.
Floor is yours.
You know.
No,
it's such a dope handshake. Like you guys better not make. I don't know. Don't make this shit go viral.
The fact that they're selling it to you guys.
It's too good.
It's too good, man.
It's too good.
It's too good.
I swear, if this shit goes viral, we want a cut.
Hey,
That's all I'm saying.
Even if it's Zimbabwean dollars, I want that shit.
I don't think it's gonna go viral.
So what?
Hey, Cambridge Analytica, if you're gonna use our handshake to start some propaganda, I want my cut. We want a cut.
We're waiting.
Nah, look at this shit. Look at this shit. Look at this shit.
No, but
are y'all ready?
We have to look at his face as we do it. Look at his face. Nah, that's a shame, the nigga, man. Come on.
Number one player hater.
Where's my man? Okay, let's do it.
Yo,
watch this. Look. Okay.
Alright, we out. Peace.
So
shut your goddamn mouth,
nigga. Shit. You see that?
What a bullshit handshake.
You see the movement? Look at that.
We get off of this shit.
God damn it, Saz.
Nigga.
I'm out. God damn it.